Good day, everyone. Merry meet. My name is Glennis, and I am the Witch of Whitetail Hollow. I want to warmly welcome you to my channel. I want to thank you guys so much for joining me. This is a little bit of a different setup, and I'm hoping that you guys can see it, and I will be bringing a few up to show you. But I had someone ask me a question about a sweet jar and the candle burn that they had experienced. Well, I can tell you, we've made a bunch of people happy this morning. I have brought out some of my, not necessarily sweet jars, but different jar spells, comparing different candles and burns and things like that. So I'm hoping that I can shed maybe a little bit of light to this particular person and make them feel a little bit better, because although I did message with them and I told them, there's nothing to worry about, I want to clarify a few things about a sweet jar. And they explained why they did the sweet jar, and I'm honestly very confused because I personally, in my experience and from what I read, I would have never done a sweet jar. But you do you, and there you go. But I brought out several different examples. Whoops. And you guys excuse me, but I'm having a wee bit of tea this morning, and that's yummy delicious. But I have several different things here. Now, this particular jar spell I did for myself. I did it some time ago, and usually about once a week I will bring this out, usually at the start of the week. For me, the start of the week is Sunday night, Monday, very early Monday, and I will burn on this. I don't typically, now I have burned a taper candle like you used, and I want to show you. There's very little dripping, and take my word for it, this has been burned and burned and burned. And I do have this one. This is for a very young child, of course, with mom's permission. And you can see I've burned several different shades, different colors and things like that. And there's just not a lot of runoff. And again, the same with this one. There's a very little bit that has come and dripped over the edge. And I can tell you the pictures that you sent to me, what you have is totally normal for what you have done. Now this one this morning, this was for another client, and I've burned several different combination colors and things like that this morning, and you can see there's just not a lot of dripping. The fact that your candle, it didn't drip and puddle and give you something to read, you should not be concerned about at all. When I do a candle reading, it is not from something like this. When I am doing, no matter what kind of spell work that it is, whether it's sweet or other, I just simply don't read the tops of and how my candle worked on this. I just don't read a wax melt on a jar. The only time that I read a wax melt is on a very large candle like this. And again, this is up for a different person, a different client. And so far, this of course is a road opener with money. But worked very, very well. And I'm not going to read her candle here for you guys, but the only time that you do a, wax reading is on a candle like this. A sweet jar, I know there was a little bit of concern that a sweet jar was, manipulative or deceptive or anything like that. And I think given the circumstances of what I've heard from you, I think that you are the last person that could be accused of being manipulative or deceptive. I can tell you, as far as a candle spell is concerned, being manipulative, not necessarily deceptive, because I'm never deceptive in any of the spells that I do, but this is a manipulative candle working, one that was never lit. So this is my own personal spell. I think the readings that are most valuable as far as spell work is concerned are your glass encased candles. Now I absolutely will, if a client wants, I will come on and say, okay, this is where we are, and this is my reading for it. I pay more attention to maybe a little bit of soot. I'm not really sure if you guys can see it, but a little bit of soot. I pay attention if it's clean, if there's lines. I particularly pay attention to the flame itself. If it's sputtering or flashing, then, of course, given the circumstances, that tells me a lot. I find it very unusual, the color that you chose, which is typical of, sexuality and passion and things like that. I probably would have chosen something different, but that might have been basically really all you had. I don't know. And how a candle works. Now, like I said, I've been burning this one, and it started out as this size. I think you guys can see. It started out this size. There's been really virtually no dripping, and I had burned red on this before. So there was already red on here, but I sat here and I've watched it, and there's just virtually no dripping. So, that really, really shouldn't worry you. But next time, if you decide to do it again, I encourage you to use a glass encased candle like this. You can, all of the elements, and I don't know what you put in your sweet jar, I have no idea, but virtually all of the elements that you can put in a jar, the essence you can put in this. So it's virtually, I'm not going to say it's the same, but if you decide to anoint a candle and burn it, you can do the same thing here. You can anoint this, by using a skewer and adding just a couple of drops, not a lot, just a couple of drops, because you certainly don't want it to interfere with the burn. And again, you can add herbs to it if you like, but just be careful. Don't add too many so as to start a fire. But that's what I pay attention to is, how much soot is on the side. I will sit absolutely and burn these, and I will watch the flame. And certainly, by the time you get down to this level and you go to relight it, if it does not relight, then the spell is done. And there's no more that you can do other than dispose of your glass and your candle, and however you perceive is the way to go about it. But, as long as you are right and just in what you are asking from your spirit guide, from whoever it is that you're working with. I have no idea who you're working with, But I always, before I venture into any kind of spell work, whether it be a jar, a candle, you know, something like this, I always ask my spirit guide for what I want. And tell them, this is what I want, this is what I need, this is for my higher good, and go from there. And certainly if you're meditating, which I hope that you are, and you are kind of tuning in to your surroundings, looking for signs of your spirit guide. I believe I did a video a while back as far as, you know, working with your spirit guide, finding out, you know, are they near me? And there should be clear, definitive signs. Anytime I do anything, I ask my spirit guide to stay with me. Of course, I believe that he is with me all the time anyway, but I make sure, I say, you know, please come near me. This is what's happening. Of course, they already know what's happening. But if you ask, you will receive. And I would encourage you, and of course, this is just my own personal belief system. I would encourage you, instead of becoming upset because, well, it didn't drip this way and I can't read wax, or, you know, whatever it is that you're thinking, and the next time that you do this, I would choose another candle color. I probably would choose, you know, just a cheap and cheerful, a glass encased candle, and anoint it. Ask your spirit guide, whoever it is, to come near you. This is what you need. They already know, yes, but they want to hear it from you. And don't have it in your mind, oh my gosh, I hope this works. I wonder if this is going to work. Because in your messages, I kind of picked up on, like, I'm not really sure. You can't go into spell work like that. I go into spell work like, this is it. This is going to happen. There's just no ifs, ands, or buts about it. It may not be and go the way exactly I want to go, or someone else wants to go, like a health and healing spell. Health and healing may come over months and months and months. It doesn't necessarily mean it's going to bang, bang. It's going to happen. Of course, I always wish a health and healing spell would. But you have to have the attitude that this is a done deal. I've already spoken with my spirit guide, my deity, my God, my goddess, whoever it is around you. Now, as far as whoever it is around you, have no doubt that this is going to work in your favor. You may not like it, and whoever else may not like it, but I can tell you it is going to work out in your favor. Have a positive attitude. It's done. It's done. Work your spell. Yeah, we're good. And then go about your life and live the kind of life that your spirit guide or whoever it is that you're working with is going to shine favorably upon you. I mean, we are not all saints. We are definitely not all saints. But, you know, be kind, do well, do good, and do it not because, well, my spirit guide or whoever is watching me, or this is making me look good, or whatever. Do it because it makes you happy. Not that it's going to make someone else happy, because if you're looking for someone else to be happy because of what your actions, just don't even bother. Don't even bother. Do it because it feels right to you. Do it because it's the right thing to do. And walk that path in life, and many, many blessings will be upon you. And again, I don't know where you are in the greater scheme of spell work and things like that are concerned, but you should at some point not have to go through sweet jars and things like that. you visualize, meditate, visualize, appreciate life for what it is, where it is, and how things are. And know that no matter what, you're covered. They've got you covered. And no matter what happens to you, because, you know, life is kind of a rocky road. Not everything's going to go smoothly, but things don't go smoothly because you're being taught. And I hope that whatever it is that is being taught to you, file it back, keep it back in the back of your head, and bring it back out if a situation like that arises again. But yes, visualize it, write a petition paper, write it down, put your energy and power into it, and go from there. And oh my goodness, I hope that I've answered your questions, but I can tell you we sure made a boatload of people happy this morning. I want you guys to have an awesome weekend, and I hope that I will see you guys later. Merry part, and I hope to merry meet again. Goodbye, guys.